Okay, this is my impression of a cat villager in Animal Crossing. I'm pretty confident that was a good impression. The question I want to ask you today is how Girlypop are each and every one of the cat villagers in Animal Crossing? I think some of us are, and all of us know, one person who is really into Animal Crossing, really into decorating their town, their village, their island, and one of the most important aspects of this decoration process that we all know is the villagers. What villagers are you casting onto your island, your village, your town? The villagers have a lot of layers of design that I think is really, really fun. So I was looking on the wiki because I just find them really, really cute. Nookopedia.com is like such a cute little site. I love diving through it. And then I suddenly had an epiphany like, oh my God, this is kind of like a Pokédex. There's all these different animals in a fantasy setting with different aesthetics, and that's why I like it so much. Let's do a Girlypop tier list of it. So today, we will be doing a Girlypop tier list of all of the cat villagers. For people who are new here and don't know what my Girlypop tier list is, let me quickly go over each and every one of the tiers. If one of the villagers lands in Mother tier, that means that they're pushing the envelope. They're definitely Girlypop, but they are expanding the concept. They're showing just how far you can go. They are pioneering new visions. If they're Girlypop, then they're giving like cutesy, they're giving femme, they're giving soft, they're giving kawaii. But they often can also give something different. They don't have to be girly per se, but they have to have an intentional serve, something unique, something that makes them stand out from the crowd. If they're okay, then they're not necessarily girly pop, but they could be. More often than not, they stand as accessories to a Girlypop serve. Maybe this villager is a really good way of enhancing the Girlypop cast that you already have. If their looks around, it's like, okay, I'm not going to completely write this one off. Maybe there's a Girlypop out there who can explain it better than I can. Maybe they can see some potential, but I'm definitely not seeing the potential. But I don't know, I'll consider you on an off chance. If they're skip, then I hope that this villager did not spend the money to fly into my island, to come visit my town, to walk into my village, because the money was wasted. No chance. Before we get started, let me just quickly thank all of my YouTube members in the Girlypop Research Fund. As y'all know, I really appreciate the support. You give me that little push that I need to keep pursuing my dream of being a YouTuber. Now let's figure out just how Girlypop each and every one of the cat villagers are. Starting off with Ankha.
TikTok?
Her favorite saying is, "All that glitters is not gold," and her catchphrase is, "Me. Meow." I've talked about this before because this is a common trope you see in design, the Cleopatra aesthetic. It very much feels gaudy to me, but I have to give credit where credit is due. This is a hard concept and they serve it through and through. We have 3 different looks and all 3 of them are really, really cute. My personal favorite is the one where she has the like gauze, the zombie gauze. I just think that's the cutest. When it comes to her house, while it's very gaudy, we have to be honest. This is a serve. It's fully rounded out. You don't get any weak spots. Like if we're gonna go Cleopatra Egyptian camp, then we're going to go Cleopatra Egyptian camp. I'm going to put Ankha in Mother. This is not my personal favorite, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel right putting her in Girlypop because she's really going quite far with the concept. And some of the villagers don't go that far. Sometimes there's a little bit of a serve, then you see in the house, it's kind of like missing something. You see in the outfits, it's missing something. Like she's giving you what she's got and she's going all the way. Let's talk about Bob. His favorite saying is, "You only live once," or 9 times. And his catchphrase is, I don't know how to do that. Sorry. I think Bob is really charming. He's very much a guy, but he's also quite Girlypop about it. The worst part about this villager is the house. I just don't like this like puzzle aesthetic. It reminds me of elementary school. I went to elementary school in the 2000s and a lot of things looked like this, especially like kindergarten, pre-K, and even as a kid, I thought it was a little bit ugly. But I also relate to this a lot because he has kind of like a childlike home. And it reminds me of me and how I personally like to collect plushies and I like things that are often seen as childlike. All that's to say is I see a lot of myself in Bob, and I consider myself a quite girly pop person, so I think Bob is a solid girly pop. Next is Felicity. Her favorite saying is, "Love has no bounds," and her catchphrase is, "Me, me, me." Felicity is so twee. Felicity is so like indie Zoe Deschanel type of moment. Felicity is also giving you a little bit of cottagecore in her home. I think Felicity is very, very cute. She's obviously very girly pop, but she's very sophisticated with it too. There's something about that like little bouncy bang that just comes right above the eyebrows, and she's just like, me, me, me. It's so cute. It's so adorable. I think that Felicity stands apart from the rest. I'm gonna give Felicity mother. Now, she could get knocked down to girly pop if something else comes in and the mothers start becoming a little bit more like Ankha, but right now Felicity, I think she really pushes it to that level. And I'm looking at her now, the blush too, get into it. Next we have Felyne. Their favorite saying is, "Calmly gathering the life of a hunter." And their catchphrase is, "Yeah." That was probably a little bit cringy for me to say, but I mean, this is their catchphrase. I have to give what they give, like I'm trying my best. Anyway, Felyne doesn't show up in any of the modern games. Felyne was a collaboration with Monster Hunter, and I do love Monster Hunter, and I think that this cat is also quite cute. It reminds me of like kind of having like this cute little stray on your island, on your village. Where it loses me is the home. The home definitely gives Monster Hunter, but that aesthetic of Monster Hunter is not girly pop. It's only until very recently that Monster Hunter started trying to find like armor sets and things that were girly pop. Even the cats are becoming a little bit more girly pop. Felyne is a remnant of the non-girly pop era. And don't get me wrong, I like all kinds of aesthetics, but today we're talking about girly pop. Felyne, I'm gonna put in looks around. Next is Kabuki. Their favorite saying is, "If you make your opponent flinch, you have already won." Their catchphrase is, "Meow," which I think is pretty clever because it's like meow, but it's also giving Kabuki. You get what I'm saying? The first thing that I want to mention about this character is I want to love Kabuki because the outfits I think are really cute, and in the most modern iteration, it's very much like purple washed, so it's giving girly pop in its color. Honestly, the makeup and stuff really slays to me. Where it loses me is the home. Kabuki, under all of the aesthetics, is really just like a very conservative Japanese uncle core, and I think that that does have a charm. But if I'm thinking of a girly pop island or a girly pop town in Animal Crossing, I'm looking more towards Felicity's house or even Bob's house. Like this house, I don't really like it. I feel like Kabuki would be standing apart from the rest. Like it would definitely be the odd one out. That being said, when Kabuki is like walking around the town, it could very much match with a lot of like pink and purple and flowery color schemes. They also have a very striking visual. And I love a visual queen. I'm gonna put Kabuki in okay. Next is Cat. Cat's favorite saying is meow, meow, meow. And their catchphrase is pretty. Now, credit where credit is due. I think that catchphrase is really iconic. Pretty. But there's a lot of iconic catchphrases, and that can't carry you in the Animal Crossing conversation. This might sound shady, but the best way that I can describe it is Cat is giving Billie Eilish if Billie Eilish wasn't rich. Her house is giving musician. I feel like she hangs with the girls, but I don't really see her like sitting pretty in the pageant that would be my girly pop island, my girly pop town. Call it vapid, call it shallow, and you might be right, but Cat just doesn't really go there for me. I'm gonna put Cat in looks around. She's just lacking the visual element that I need. Next we have Kid Cat. Their favorite saying is crime doesn't pay, and their catchphrase is psst. Now, I love these Power Rangers superhero type cats, the ones that like have the helmets on and they're looking to the side. The looking to the side thing is always so funny to me in Animal Crossing. There's just something a little bit mischievous and coy about it. I think that this visually is very, very camp, but the jock superhero motorcycle helmet cats always lose me with their house. Like Homeboy's house is literally like, you might as well not even have a roof over that. He's just in there working out. I know it stinks. I know it's sweaty. I know it's dirty. I know there's dust everywhere. It's like he lives in a basement. But walking around the village, I could definitely see this be striking. I don't know if this is necessarily a girly pop striking, but he has a very, very camp look. I love that each of the iterations, most of them at least, have like that number one on the front. Like, number one of what? Get into it. If that's your concept, that's your concept. But I don't know. We already have like Kabuki, who kind of toes the line. I'm gonna say that Kit Kat is kind of the same. Okay. Next we have Kiki. Her favorite saying is nothing ventured, nothing gained. And her catchphrase is kitty cat. Now Kiki is a reference to Gigi and Kiki's delivery service. And that is definitely going to give a lot of points in my book. I consider myself a connoisseur of girly popology, and I also really love Kiki's Delivery Service. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I do wish that her outfit felt more reminiscent of that like sort of cozy witchiness that Kiki has, but I will say that her sweater in the latest iteration actually comes off as quite charming. Her home is also very sophisticated and poised and put together. I think that she could definitely stand to be a girly pop addition into a village that doesn't go overboard, to balance it out, to not make it too sweet. If all of my villagers were milk chocolate, she would be the dark chocolate. Just a little bit of bitterness to balance out that sweet. I'm gonna say that Kiki is girly pop. Next we have Kitty. Love that name. Her favorite saying is, if you want something well, then do it yourself. And her catchphrase is, meow. Now, okay, this is definitely a girly pop, all right? But this is what I was saying. Like, there's going to be a lot of very busy villagers. I think in general, villagers can be quite busy. I think that's what makes them fun. And the girly pop ones can be busy even more so. Personality, busy. Clothes, busy. House, busy. This girl can't pick one pattern, one aesthetic, one concept. She's all over the place, but I think the personality as the vehicle really ties it together. However, we definitely need a Kiki to balance out this in the village. You know, like she goes busy and she goes hard, but not in the way that Ankha does. It almost leans into chaotic. I like it. I like your energy. You're definitely girly pop, but this is getting a little bit too much, so I'm gonna put Kitty in girly pop. Next we have Lolly. Her favorite saying is, laughter is the best medicine. And her catchphrase is, bon bon. Lolly has the same energy that Kiki does. It's calm, it's cool, it's collected. Her personality is actually categorized as one of the normal villagers, which I think is funny because you have like jock, you have big sister, you have sassy, and then you just have normal. If you were a villager, which personality would you be? I don't think I would be normal. This is really unfortunate because I think she's really cute, but I feel like she's kind of lost in her aesthetic and her actualization. I don't think that she fully understands who she is. I really loved her older iteration of her outfit, and I do think that this like sort of winter cozy gray sweater is really cute, but I liked it before. And then when you look at her house, it's like it keeps changing in different ways. Maybe because she's normal aspected in her personality, she doesn't have like a hard concept. I think her personality is very congenial, but I think that Kiki kind of gives it a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more realized. I'm gonna put Lolly in okay. Next we have Meow. Meow is kind of like Felyne. It's one of those characters that only showed up for one game, and she doesn't have a favorite saying, and her catchphrase is only found in Japanese, and it's actually the katakana for meow.
Meow.
I think this is a visual queen because even her house kind of feels a little bit like Kitty in a way. It's a little bit chaotic. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but that visual, it's giving ooh la la. It's giving Space Channel 5. It's giving Fruitiger Arrow. It's giving, what's that one Sanrio character that's the monkey? I'll put it up on the screen. I like this aesthetic. I like it a lot. And I think that none of us would be mad if she got a more official canonization. I'm gonna put her in girly pop. I think that she takes it. I think she takes it far enough. She would be mother, but because she only shows up once, she doesn't even have a saying. Her house is a little bit, But if we do get her officially in the games moving forward, I would love to see her house be remixed to be a little bit more like techie, like Porygon aesthetic or something like that. Next we have Mary. Her favorite saying is, a smile increases your face value. And her catchphrase is, mwee. Now don't let this crazy looking up in the air at her tiny micro bang fool you. This is a face card specialist. You can see it in some of her like portrait images. A lot of the characters have portrait images. but hers stand out a lot to me because you really see the dynamics in her modeling sort of techniques. She's one of those people that has like a nice, you know, normal look, but then when you see her in photos, you realize that she's just like abnormally photogenic, and I love that aspect to her character. The things that I don't like about her is the fact that her house doesn't feel cohesive, and even with them not being cohesive, each of the looks just don't, I don't know. I feel like Ankha and Felicity really show how far you can take a house, how you can really realize a character with the house. I don't see that with her, and I think that her earlier iteration of her outfit looked better. This new one it's giving kawaii. The sweater is like really adorable, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that that like cutesy rainbow unicorn type of look is really explaining that like lethal face card she has. I'm gonna put her in Girlypop. Next we have Mitzi.
And stop staring at me with them big old eyes.
Her favorite saying is practice makes perfect, and her catchphrase is Meow. Now Mitzi is giving chaos as a concept. In all of her iterations of her outfits, you see like a really eclectic, wild pattern, but it makes sense with her. Like even like the shape of her eyes and the color scheme on her character matches that like weird, wild, vibrant eclecticness. Like she gives rich girl studio apartment New York City kind of moment. I think that her recent iteration is really cool. That polo shirt in that pattern with the trim on the sleeves and stuff matching the pops of color on her fur. It's really clever, really sophisticated, really cool. The unfortunate thing is in her latest iteration of her home, they like completely strip all of the personality that she had going up. And all of the home looks up to New Horizons was really cohesive. I liked that weird little warbloid that was always in her house. I don't know why it's there, but it makes sense for her. So I'm just not even going to really consider the New Horizons look because she has a lot of strength other than that one moment. All that being said, I'm going to put Mitzi in Mother. I think that she has the potential to really take your village further. Next we have Mo. His favorite saying is ignorance is bliss, and his catchphrase is Meow. I think Mo is cute in his own right. I want to go ahead and say that my favorite iteration of his outfit is him walking around with that tank top with BB on the front. Like that is so, I don't know how else to explain it. That is so cunt to me. I want a shirt like that because BB to me kind of sounds like baby. It's like, yeah, I'm baby, like, but it's like also like a dark gothic black with like the white text on the front. It's also giving like goth, athletic, I don't know. His houses are also really strange. Like this character in general is strange. If you can't get it from his face, because this is one of the most unique villager faces I've ever seen, this is a really wild and weird character. I get the feeling that he really likes anatomy. He also likes watermelons, and he also likes to have a room that looks like a 8-year-old boy's room that he got for Christmas, like a full set, Fisher Price set in 2003. I can't keep up with his aesthetic, but every time he does give me an aesthetic, it's compelling. It is chaotic, but every single like window of chaos is a window. It's not a full view of chaos. It's like, I'm in this chaotic era. Now I'm in this chaotic era. Now I'm in this chaotic era. I'm gonna put Mo in okay. Because if I'm gonna dock points for chaos in Kitty and chaos in some of the other characters, I have to dock points for Mo. And I also think that Mo is like a really good side character. I can't imagine a village having Mo be one of like the main villagers. It's like, I'm gonna have a bunch of really cute characters like Felicity and Kiki and Meow. And then Mo is gonna be there to be kind of like the wild card. You get what I'm saying? Now we have Monique. Her favorite saying is, all publicity is good publicity. And her catchphrase is, poof. Some of these are kind of hard to say. I feel like they're better read in your head than actually said out loud. She's definitely a diva. She's got that like Art Deco 1920s type of moment, which can be very busy and can be very chaotic, but you can see it in her house. She keeps it together and she actually makes it kind of cool. I like this a lot. I was saying this on the Discord. I kind of wish that you could mod Animal Crossing to have some of the villagers smoke smoking a Marlboro on their porch, because she's the type of girl that would be sitting outside of her apartment on the balcony smoking a cigarette and like spilling the tea with you. Both of her outfits look really, really good. I can't say that I prefer one or the other. I think they both match her quite well. This is a sophisticated look. This is a very girly pop look. She elevates it to diva. I think her house is kind of fun. Like, I would want to go visit her house and take screenshots in her house. I think that Monique is mother. Now we have Olivia. Her favorite saying is, "There's an exception to every rule," and her catchphrase is, "Purr." The first thing I want to mention with Olivia, when you look at her outfits, you can tell that she has like this sort of jagged, uneven sleeve and like leg coloring. Then you look at her house and you see how her house is like very, very sophisticated. Another one of those that loses a lot of personality in New Horizons, but up to that point, very sophisticated, very rich girl. Her personality makes it really interesting, and her look makes it really interesting. If this was a real person, she would be kind of like this artist who does like kind of really dark and brooding art. She has like sleeves of tattoos, dark hair, or maybe like red hair or something like that. And she's very much like femme fatale, very relatable, but also so put together that it's like intimidating. Maybe she's like a writer or something, and you're like, how do you sustain this like rich, luxurious lifestyle off of just writing poetry? And she's just like,
I guess I'm just that good.
Like, that's how Olivia feels to me. I really like Olivia. I'm putting Olivia in mother, especially for that catchphrase. Like, get into that. Next is Pierre. Just like Meow, this is like a one-off character. They don't have a favorite saying, and their Japanese catchphrase is
Bennett. Bennett.
which kind of means like, you know, it's like, I say it a lot, you know, you get what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of what Pierre's up to. Pierre is really interesting because this is a very, very cute character. It's very clown core, and I love that. It's kind of giving drag to me. But he's considered like a jock in his personality, which means that he's like really proud of his athleticism. He's kind of like an acrobatic circus clown, and I like that concept. I very much dig it. Unlike Meow, his house actually makes a lot of sense for him, and I think that this is a fun character. Like, I would love to see this one also canonized. In many ways, I think that this character has a really good serve. It's really fun. I want to put it in mother, but I do think that the circus clown aesthetic gets to be a little bit more versatile. It's not so hard aspected to girly popology, even though we really like that. I'm gonna put Pierre as a very, very strong girly pop. Next, we have Punchy. His favorite saying is, "There's always more fish in the sea," and his catchphrase is, Okay, so this character is pretty boring. It is also a lazy personality type, which matches really well. Don't get me wrong, when you look at the houses, very cohesive. The outfits are all like all over the place. It honestly seems like this character just throws on anything they have in the closet, and that matches really well. So I would say that that's also well-rounded. My favorite is the I Love GameCube t-shirt. I kind of want that as a real t-shirt, just I Heart GC on a white t-shirt. There's something really camp about that. But all in all, this is not a character that I think any of us would even be considering for our village. I'm gonna put Punchy in skip. Next we have Purrl. Her favorite saying is, "Let them drink cream," and her catchphrase is kitten. Her saying and her catchphrase make me like her a lot. The snooty girls, they always have something to say, and it's just really entertaining. I think that's very girly pop. That being said, I do think that she loses a lot of points in every other aspect. I like both of her outfits. I especially like the most recent one. I would love to have a shirt like that. I think it's very like clean and sophisticated. I think, you know, it's very like handsome but elegant at the same time. And her house is also very much the same. This is just like a strong, classy villager to have. I don't think that she's necessarily giving girly pop, especially after we've covered the diversity that you can see in just the girly pop cats and the mother cats. This is just like a really strong, like unassuming, inoffensive, good cat villager. And she has like a cute saying, so when you have people coming to visit, she's always gonna like entertain the guests. I'm gonna say that Purrl is okay. Next we have Raymond. His favorite saying is "stay on brand," and his catchphrase is crisp. Raymond is really important for the discussion of girly popology in Animal Crossing. I feel like because Raymond is one of the most recent villagers to be added, with the way that he debuted and the way that he's sort of like taken a lot of the narrative and the way that he sort of like immediately rose to such popularity really shows how aggressive Animal Crossing might be wanting to get with their villagers going forward. I think that Raymond is a really well made character. He is really serving down. He reminds me of the same aesthetic of that one guy who does the Pokemon Presents. He's like an executive level Pokemon person, but he's got that like clean, soft, but fierce, like office siren boy energy. Miss Girl here, you can't mess with her. Like the concealer laid, the powder on. She eats. What's her name again?
Hello everyone, I'm Utsunomiya from the Pokemon
Takato Utsunomiya is always giving the girls a look. It also makes sense with his saying being like, stay on brand, crisp. Like this is so Gen Z coded. Like, you know, he has social media. You know that he knew what his brand was by the age of 8. Like Raymond is, I don't know, there's a lot of like camp factor to him, but he's also just like really nice to look at. I will say that Raymond is mother territory. Okay, let's talk about Rosie. Her favorite saying is one good purr deserves another. And her catchphrase is silly. This is girly pop down. I need to address something really quick though. Her houses, the first houses, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
I was shocked, honey. I was in tears almost. And it has a white refrigerator. I was like, oh, not a white refrigerator.
It's okay. You can like what you want, but the most recent houses, that's her aesthetic. And the most recent one, so adorable, so cute. All of her outfits also very cute. The one camp factor thing that I want to mention that I like about her is like she's one of the characters that was featured in like an anime or a manga, so now she has her own renders of being like in an anime or manga. I don't know what it was, but because of this, I automatically think like, oh, this girl is marketable, this girl is booked, this girl is busy. I want to give her mother because I think that all of the aspects that we have to consider of what she's doing and contributing should be taken into account, but she just doesn't take it far enough. Not far enough. Strong girly pop. Next is Rudy. His favorite saying is always land on your feet, and his catchphrase is mush. I don't know if you can tell, but this is a reference to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Rudolph, I think you're cute. I'm cute!
I think this is hilarious. They just said, what if we made a cat that looked like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Okay, does it make sense? No, but are we gonna do it? Yes, and that's... I like that. Commit. His houses don't make sense. His most recent house kind of gives a little bit more of what I want to see, like greens and stuff, because I'm like, just make it Christmas. Just make it all Christmas. Like snow, ice, Christmas. He puts a snowman out in the front yard. Like, go all the way. I think that if you're making like a Christmas village, definitely recruit Rudy, but even then, it's like you don't even need to be necessarily girly pop about it. It's just, it's kind of like Delibird. For those of you who've watched my Pokemon content, it's like Delibird is like a one-trick pony in terms of its joke, its gimmick, its aesthetic. It's kind of feeling the same way with Rudy. I'll put Rudy in, honestly, looks around. I'm just like not really moved by it. Next, we have Stinky. His favorite saying is, if the mask fits, wear it. And his catchphrase is, gah! Not girly pop. I will give him flowers though. Cohesive look, cohesive house. I think that one little purple tank top he was wearing at that one point in time, that was cute. That was giving a little bit of girly pop. And honestly, a cat being named Stinky and having the face that he has, like that expression and that mask, he's just, it's funny. It really is funny. And if I visited a village and I saw Stinky the cat, I would be into it. I think that's funny. But for my girly pop village, he's not gonna be there. I'm sorry, Stinky, but it's a skip. Next, we have Tabby. Her favorite saying is, you can never have too much of a good thing. And her catchphrase is, me, wow. This is a wild, like, punk rock tiger chick. We know that she's supposed to be a tiger because in Animal Crossing, she features a lot of tigers in her house. Speaking of her houses make no sense. This is another chaotic diva. But I think what makes her really charming is that catchphrase and also her outfits. Like her first outfit is like her wearing a bloody Silent Hill t-shirt. So I'm assuming she's just eating her prey. And then in her other outfits, she just kind of gives like you know, chill punk rock type of girl. Like, you know, she goes in moshes, but she's also like really, really chill, and you can go get coffee with her too. This character is really fun, unpredictable, charming, very much a wild card. I would put her in looks around because the aesthetic does go a little bit crazy, but like the punk sort of thing could definitely work with the girly pops, because there are some like more darker chic girly pops that could match her look. Not necessarily in the cats, but like I'm thinking like the deer, there's like one that could really match her. Like they're not both punk, but they both have like that dark through line. She really moves me further than that, so I'm going to say that she is okay. She's very, very charming. I can see a lot of girly pops liking her. Next we have Tangy. Her favorite saying is, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And her catchphrase is, Meow. I love that she looks like an orange, but her catchphrase mentions lemons. She said, I'm not just an orange, I'm an all-round citrus diva. In fact, I'm an all-round fruity diva. I love that her houses are all on theme for being an orange, being a citrus. It's the same with Rudy. It's like, let's just make a cat something. Rudy is a cat that's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Tangy is a cat that is also an orange. It doesn't make sense, but like that is the charm of Animal Crossing. This is a cohesive character. I will admit, her first two outfits don't feel like they match when we finally get the third outfit. Like her most recent outfit really looks gorgeous, really matches well. I think this is camp factor. I think she's pushing it as far as Ankha would. I'm going to put her in Mother. Finally, we have Tom. His favorite saying is, there's no use crying over spilled milk. And his catchphrase is, Meowza. Fun saying, fun catchphrase. Like he seems very intelligent, very fun and witty. His houses, I don't know, it kind of gives Olivia in some point. I like that very sophisticated, ornate design. And then the last iteration is, it loses me. His shirt also features that BB thing. Am I missing something? Is that referencing something? Or did they just randomly put BB? Like it's like a random Temu t-shirt that just has like letters on it that nobody knows what it means. Because if that's the case, then I really, really love that. All that being said, especially because Tom is coming last, it's like we have had a pretty nuanced discussion on all the diverse executions of Girlypop and Mother, and even okay. I'm not gonna say that I would be mad if he showed up, but I will be like planning on him leaving as soon as possible. So I'm going to put him in looks around. So that is the Girlypop tier list of all of the cat villagers in Animal Crossing. What do you think? I'm not surprised to see there be just an even split of Girlypops and Mothers in the cats, but I had a lot of fun making this. I hope you enjoyed it too. I think the Animal Crossing villagers are really fun. They can be hard to digest because they're not really presented to you as easy as say Pokemon are, but maybe this video could help you to start to understand how they're categorized, start to understand their narrative, and maybe understand some things that would make you love them or like them or want to recruit them or play Animal Crossing and get to know about all of this. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Whatever you're up to next, I hope it goes by super, super well. I hope to see you next time. Bye!